In Your Radiant Season is a drama that I don't normally go for. I tend not to really want to watch the dramas that are super duper prepackaged. It's hard to describe that, but this definitely falls in that category for me. Even if I ever tune into a story like this, I tend to give it a lot of time before I dive in, and I don't really want to watch it when it's OTA. In Your Radiant Season is absolutely OTA, but I decided that I would just take a stab at it because it has an 8.4 rating on our favorite site in the world for K drama and all A drama world specs. So I thought I'd dive in and see if that rating is justified in my perspective. And oh, yeah, you are listening to If I May, just to any of my fellow content creators or folks who want to get out here in these content creation streets and you just don't have the whatever it takes to do it, meaning you're trying to get over the threshold of putting your voice out there and getting into this podcast landscape. I just want to tell you that you can do this. I know you can do it. If you think you have a good idea, go for it, because in your mind is where all of your confidence is going to come from, and therefore I think you should go for it. Podcasting has been extremely rewarding to me. I've met some of the most great people ever that I never would have met any other way. So yeah, jump out there, go ahead and do it, and don't wait for the perfect mood, because as the old adage goes, you'll never be ready. So in Your Radiant Season, I have a first impression that's confined to the first episode, and let me give you my impressions. For those of you who are new here, I don't read the synopsis of any drama that I watch. Usually, sometimes I have to for other purposes. I can't even remember the reasons why sometimes I have to read it, but 99.9, I am never going to read the synopsis, because to me, the synopsis tells us the whole drama. And what's the point after that? So I never read the synopsis. I like to get it raw. This drama stars Lee Sung Kyun, and in this drama, she's playing a character named Sung Haran. And then her male co-star is Jae Jong Kyup, and he plays a character called Sunu Chan. So male lead and female lead are together, except he's doing an abroad work study or something. He's some kind of a brainiac, you know, scientist, a guy that works in the lab until he literally falls asleep. Then he wakes up and he does it all over again. Now, maybe I just didn't pay good enough attention. I can't understand why he had all these scars on his face. Perhaps they will retroactively tell us what happened, or I could, I don't know, find out what happened, because he would be sitting in the lab, and whenever the camera would pan to his face, he'd have a busted lip. He'd have a scar across his nose. The cute scars they put on the K-poppers when they doing yeah, and they still look good. They look better with these artificial scars. So this is what he has on his face. I don't know if he's fight clubbing his way through this damn, abroad mission or what have you, but he is absolutely living a lifestyle that she don't know about. So she calls him all the time our female lead. She's this very happy-go-lucky, very unrelatable character for me. She is just bubbly. She is just the definition of bubbly. It's, hi Chan, I love you Chan, how you doing Chan? Make sure you eat, and just this character that without reading the synopsis, you know some gangster stuff is about to happen because his face is just like facing, and then she too happy. Now, you know you can't be that damn happy in anywhere in a drama land before the 11th episode because somebody about to die. And I'm sorry to blow that for you, but Udi Dear Male Lead continues to go through his, you know, laboratory work while our female lead, she's in Hanguk doing whatever she do, baby. She doing whatever she do. And one day there is some manner of explosion at the lab, and he is too close to the radius, so close that, you know, he's injured. And this is where it's about to disconnect completely for me. So we get a time jump following this explosion of several years, like between 3 and 5 years, y'all. So we're in present day Hanguk, and Udi, female lead, has none of the spark she used to have with him because through one turn or another, he has died. And the writers have decided that we should buy that he died, even though there was no, like, okay, I'm trying to get this out, guys, and I'm hopping around a little bit. So our male lead, we know because the way A-dramas work, he's not dead because he's got to play in this damn drama. So he is, scare quotes over, resurrected, guys. And it does seem that he has a touch of amnesia because he's getting his clothes on and he's about to make a trip to Hanguk because he's going to pitch his idea of some type of technology to a fashion house. This fashion house Udi Dear female lead works at. And actually her mom is like the chairwoman. And then her two sisters, or one of her, the elder sister, the one that's underneath her, I think. Yeah, I don't know. The one that's grown with her works there. And then she's got a little sister who's still a high schooler. So when he comes in, he's presenting with his very impeccable Korean language goals, compadre. They're presenting, and he is winning over the chairwoman. And the chairwoman is like, you know, why should I take your idea and run with it over someone else? And he gives the perfect answer and all of this stuff. So the granddaughter, who is our female lead, she comes in and she ends up spilling coffee all over him. And obviously he's got on a white button up. And he has to have his clothes changed. Obviously, they're in a fashion house, so there's nothing but clothes for you to change into till we can launder your shirt. FYI, they never got the damn stain out, but he was able to change his clothes. And while he was changing his clothes, you know, we were able to see that he's got burn marks all over his arm and shoulder. And we saw this earlier in the drama as well in this first episode. So we knew before this wardrobe change that he had this because earlier when he was getting dressed, he had that. Now, y'all, I just don't know why these writers, directors, and producers are doing these types of, like, who watches K-dramas? I don't get it, because the female lead and the male lead actually met in the hallway. I don't know if it was at the fashion house or it had to be there because where else would they meet? But they met in the hallway. I'm talking about face to face. Are you understanding me? There's nothing wrong with his face. It's not like half of his face is like Marvel, you know, superhero scar. No. His face is exactly like it was before. Now, he does have this stupid hairdo that looks like a wig, but you know how they purposely make your hair ugly just so you seem to have a different aura and vibe, baby? Okay, but it's not working because you got the same face. Now, you're not about to tell me that this girl who has dated this dude for years before he left, does not know when she's staring in the face of her man. Like, for real. Now, he's got a good excuse because the touch of amnesia, you know, that plot, they're going to ride that one. But I'm like, how does she look at him? Now, you know, my benefit of the doubt glasses say he's dead. They probably done had a funeral service for him. But my thing is, baby, which body did they cremate? Which one? Cause he got up after that explosion somewhere. He either got up off a hospital gurney or he walked away from the site. Which one, baby? And how did he do either of those two things and still be counted dead? Unless they're gonna tell us, you know, maybe he's on the underground in Fight Club over there in New York or something, and they're like, I don't know. But this plot is just the word that resounds for me with this plot is just flimsy. They had, for me, they had every reason in the world to make this part of the drama tight. I know that they have to give us the male lead and they have to give us the female lead. And I mean, you know, maybe they could have gave her some psychotic break amnesia. Maybe they could have gave her, a dissociative personality where she can't recognize. I don't know, but that particular thing, that element of this drama being so flimsy makes it very difficult for me to kind of persist in this drama. It's almost like somebody is just playing you for a complete sucker and I don't understand it. So they continue on in the episode. She spills the coffee, he gets his shirt, and there are these encounters that they're having, passing each other hither and yonder. And so she's walking down the street in one scene. I believe this is the scene before he walks into the fashion house to pitch or something. And she's walking under a construction site that is on dangling by a pube. And he's like, you know, Haran, he yells from across the street. And she looks at him and it saves her by inches from being clobbered by a damn construction site. So she's replaying this and she's like, that guy called my name. He called my name. How did you know my name? And I'm just like, baby, you ain't got no pictures of your ex. You don't see no similarities between. And I do understand that grief would make you say, maybe, okay, if we held a funeral for him, there's no way this could be him. But my thing is, I think I would be curiouser than hell if the doppelganger to my dead boyfriend was just looking like the spitting image, the size, the height, the face, ugly hair, but So yeah, that's the first episode of In Your Radiant Season. The only other critique I have, and I just have to say this because sometimes the fashions in these dramas are just kind of like, okay. I don't know how old the female lead is. I know she's an adult. She's not a high schooler. I don't know if she's older or younger than her sister that also works at the fashion house. But baby, I know in real life this actress is good and mature, number wise. Baby, one scene she had on some socks and some loafers. And I was just like, I know they try to set us ablaze with the fashion trends, but baby, I will not be wearing no damn fold down over socks with some loafers or Mary Jane's. I can't remember which one, but she looked like the way you dress your baby for the first day, not even the first day of preschool or kindergarten, because you don't want your child to be bullied for the rest of their lives. What is it? Easter. That's what it was, y'all. Easter. Easter socks. We all know that. At church, you have your pretty dress on and them Easter socks that everybody loves when they're like 2. That's what she had on. And I was just like, okay, so Aroxana, what was the rest of the outfit? It was just like, a plaid mid skirt. It was A-line, it was fitted, and then she had on a matching blazer and then, an undershirt or whatever. But the look was just like 2 in the Easter pageant at church where they, make you go to the front of the church and sing a song off tune. That's what it looked like. So, yeah, I don't understand this drama. I understand it. I know what they're doing. They're doing the whole, we gonna get back together, but we're not back together. It's just that somehow I am drawn to you for no reason whatsoever. I can't tell. You look identical to my boyfriend that died. Like, so I understand that there are more episodes to be had. I get it if there is something to actually behold here. If that 8.4 number is a legitimate number, I'm willing to accept that. But as it stands in episode 1, my star assessment isn't anywhere close to an 8.4. I would give this drama like a 4. Yeah, because there's nothing novel about the plot, and the presentation of this story, just, there's nothing there. There's just nothing there. And it's a little sad because this actress and this actor, they have the potential to be able to put on a good performance, but there's only so much they can do with the plot. I will give it another episode or so before I decide whether I'm going to actually give this one a true go. But that was my first impression. And if you have first impressions that you want to share, make sure you leave them in the comments. I am open to persuasion. So have at it. And I will talk to you on the next drama.